Ladies, let's be honest. You're here because something isn't working in your love life. You keep falling for men who are confusing, inconsistent, or emotionally unavailable, and it's exhausting. Today, we're going to change that. No sugarcoating, just the truth, so you can finally reclaim your power. The first step is recognizing the grey area man. He's the one who says the right things but never follows through. He shows interest one day, disappears the next. You find yourself overthinking every text, wondering if he cares, or if you're imagining it. Here's the truth. Actions always speak louder than words. If his actions don't match his words, believe the actions. Stop making excuses for him, and stop hoping he will change. Most women I talk to try to fill in the gaps with hope. They tell themselves, he must be busy, he must be stressed, he must care deep down. But here's the hard truth. The man who truly values you makes time, shows up, and doesn't keep you guessing. Think about it. When was the last time a man's words matched his actions perfectly? If you struggle to find an example, that's your first clue. You've been settling for the grey area. Let me give you a real scenario. A man calls you every night for 2 weeks, texting late, saying sweet things, making plans. Then, suddenly, he disappears. No calls, no texts. Your mind spins. Did I do something wrong? Maybe he's just busy. Stop, pause, observe the pattern, not the excuses. Grey area men thrive on uncertainty. They know it keeps you hooked. They know the chase makes you invest more energy, and they get what they want without giving commitment in return. Here's another example. A man takes you out on a few dates, promises he'll call again. Then, he only texts sporadically. You rearrange your schedule waiting for him, feeling anxious, feeling frustrated, wondering if you're too sensitive. This is exactly what the grey area does. It feeds your insecurity and keeps you attached. Here's a question for you. Are you addicted to the highs and lows of emotional chaos? Do you feel excited when he disappears and then comes back suddenly? That excitement is natural, but it's also a sign you're caught in the grey area cycle. Sometimes it's even subtler. A man likes your social media posts, texts in the morning, disappears by evening. He's never fully present, yet you convince yourself, at least he reaches out sometimes. No, partial attention is a tool of grey area men. It's not love, it's control. The solution is not to punish him or to play games. It's to recognize the pattern consistently. Call it out to yourself and stop giving him the benefit of the doubt. Start by observing his behavior for 2 weeks straight. Track whether his words and actions align. Write it down. Be honest. This is about clarity, not about judging. Here's another story. One woman I know kept forgiving him every time he flaked. Dinner plans cancelled, texts ignored, promises broken. She convinced herself he had a busy life. After 3 months, she realized the pattern. She stopped chasing him, and for the first time, she felt relief. She felt empowered. She realized her attention and energy were her most valuable assets. When you can clearly see the patterns, you stop wasting energy on emotional roller coasters. You start valuing yourself more. And the moment you value yourself, men start to notice. Those who are serious will step up. Those who are grey area men will reveal themselves fully. And then you can walk away without regret, without anxiety, without hoping he'll finally get it. Reflection moment. Think back to the last 3 men you dated. Write down their actions versus their words. Notice any grey areas. If patterns repeat, it's not coincidence. It's a lesson for you to choose differently next time. Remember, clarity is power. Confusion is a trap. Recognizing the grey area man is the first step, but it's the step that sets everything else in motion. And once you see it clearly, you start to reclaim control over your love life. Now that you've recognized the grey area man, let's talk about something even more important: why you keep accepting that behavior in the first place. Because here's the uncomfortable truth. A grey area man can only exist if you allow him to exist in your life. And the reasons you tolerate it usually come from deeper patterns. Patterns you've been carrying for years, maybe even since childhood. Let's break them down, slowly, honestly, without judgment. For many women, the first reason is fear of being alone, not wanting to start over, not wanting to feel abandoned again. So you hold on to the almost, the maybe, the potential, even when it hurts you. Think about it. When a man gives you breadcrumbs and you accept it, you're telling yourself, something small is better than nothing. But is that actually true? Or is it just emotional survival mode? Another reason is validation. When a grey area man shows interest, even inconsistently, it gives you a temporary high. It makes you feel wanted. Not deeply wanted, but momentarily. And for many women, that moment feels powerful, even if it's followed by anxiety. Here's a psychological fact. Intermittent attention creates addiction. Your brain releases dopamine when he returns after disappearing. That high is stronger than consistent affection, which is why unreliable men often feel more exciting, even when they're unhealthy. Ask yourself honestly, do you confuse intensity with intimacy? Does inconsistency feel like passion? That confusion is one of the biggest reasons you accept grey area situations. Another reason is overestimating your ability to fix him. Many women enter relationships thinking, he just needs patience. He just needs the right woman. He just needs time. But let me say this clearly. You are not a rehabilitation center for emotionally inconsistent men. You're not here to fix, rescue, or heal someone who isn't doing the work himself. Grey area men sense when you have that caretaker energy. They know you'll stay longer. They know you'll forgive easily. And they take advantage of that softness. Not always consciously, but consistently. Another reason is self-worth wounds. If you've been treated poorly in the past, you start believing that bare minimum behavior is normal. And when a grey area man gives you crumbs, it feels familiar. It feels like home, even though it's unhealthy. Familiarity can be dangerous because the brain likes what it knows, even when what it knows is harmful. Here's another big reason. You want the story to work more than you want the reality to be healthy. You want the fairy tale. You want the maybe he'll change, because the fantasy feels safer than facing the truth. Ask yourself, have you been dating the potential of a man instead of the actual man in front of you? Let me give you an example. A woman dated a man for 8 months. He never defined the relationship. He never made real plans. He kept everything open. But she stayed, because in her mind, he had potential. She imagined the future version of him, the committed version, the affectionate version. But none of that existed. It was all projection, all hope, not reality. One day, she asked herself, if I stop imagining who he could be and accept who he is, would I still want him? The answer was no. And that's when she walked away. This question changes everything. And now, it's your turn to ask it. Let's go deeper. Some women accept grey area behaviour because they're used to doing most of the emotional work. You're used to being the one who tries, the one who fixes, the one who cares more. So when a man does the bare minimum, it still feels like something. But the truth is, you deserve more than something. You deserve reciprocity, consistency, and real emotional presence. Here's another reflection. Do you stay because leaving feels like failure? Many women attach their self-worth to making a relationship work, even when the relationship is draining them. But leaving a man who doesn't show up for you is not failure. It's self-respect. The final reason you accept grey area behaviour is because no one taught you how to set emotional boundaries. Not rigid walls, not defensiveness, but healthy limits. Limits that protect your peace, your dignity, your time, your energy. Boundaries aren't about controlling him, they're about controlling what you allow and what you refuse. So take a moment, look at your patterns, look at what you tolerate, look at who you attract. Because the moment you understand why you accept the grey area, you give yourself the power to break the pattern permanently. This chapter isn't about blaming you. It's about awakening you, about helping you see yourself clearly, because self-awareness is the beginning of emotional freedom. And once you understand your patterns, you'll stop giving your heart to men who don't deserve access to it. There's something most women don't realise. Staying with a grey area man isn't neutral. It's not maybe one day. It's not it's complicated. It's not but we have a connection. It's a cost, and the price you pay is higher than you think. Every unclear relationship drains your emotional bandwidth. You wake up with him on your mind, go to sleep wondering what changed, and spend the day trying to decode mixed signals. That constant analysis, that emotional guessing, it wears you down. Slowly, quietly, like a leak you don't notice until the floor is flooded. The real cost is your self-esteem, because every time you accept inconsistency, you teach yourself that your needs don't matter. Every time you settle for almost, you reinforce the belief that almost is the best you can get. A grey area man doesn't just waste your time, he reshapes your standards. He trains you to tolerate emotional starvation. He normalizes the bare minimum. He gets you used to disappointment. And the worst part, you start thinking it's you, not him. You start saying things like, maybe I'm asking for too much. I don't want to scare him away. He's different when we're together. He's just stressed. He said he cares. But the truth is simple. If a man wants clarity, he gives it. If a man wants commitment, he shows it. If a man wants you, he moves toward you, not away from you. So ask yourself, how many months or years have you already lost to this pattern? How many opportunities have you turned down? How many men with real intentions have you ignored because you were emotionally occupied by someone who never earned that place? The cost of staying in the grey area is not just emotional, it's future opportunity. Every day you choose confusion, You delay the person who's actually meant for you. You delay stability. You delay peace. You delay the love you say you want. And maybe the hardest truth is this: the longer you stay with the wrong man, the harder it becomes to believe the right man even exists. You lose hope. You lower your guard. You lower your expectations. You forget who you were before the doubt set in. But here's the breakthrough. Once you see the cost clearly, you stop romanticizing potential. You stop waiting for consistency from an inconsistent man. You stop calling confusion chemistry. And you start valuing your time like it's precious. Because it is. The grey area doesn't just take, it teaches. And the lesson is this: your life will change the moment you stop paying for someone who only gives you emotional credit, and choose someone who invests in you fully, openly, and consistently. This is not about him. It's about what staying with him is costing you. The moment you set real boundaries, everything changes. Not because he finally understands you, but because you finally understand yourself. A boundary isn't a rule for him. It's a standard for you. It's a line that says, this is what I allow, and this is what I walk away from. Most women don't struggle because they lack options. They struggle because they lack clarity. Clarity about what they deserve. Clarity about what they will no longer tolerate. Clarity about what a healthy connection actually looks like. So let's bring that clarity into the light. A real boundary sounds like this: if you want my presence, you show consistency. If you want access to me, you communicate like an adult. If you want my time, you make plans that don't keep me guessing. If you want a place in my life, you show effort, without being pushed. Notice something important here. None of these boundaries are about controlling him. They're about honoring you. A boundary protects your emotional energy, your time, your expectations, your self-respect. And when a man hears your boundaries, one of two things will happen. He steps up, because a grown man respects clarity. Or he pulls away, because a grey area man hates accountability. Either way, the confusion ends. A man who genuinely wants you will not be scared of your standards. He will rise to meet them. He will value the way you value yourself. He won't make you feel needy, dramatic, or demanding for wanting something real. He will make things easier, not harder. And here's the truth most women avoid. Setting boundaries doesn't chase good men away. It only filters out the ones who were never planning to give you what you hoped for. So sit with this for a moment. What is draining you right now? What behavior makes you anxious, uncertain, or undervalued? That's where your boundary belongs. That's where you must draw the line. Not to punish him, but to protect you. Because the moment you choose your standards over your fears, you stop attracting grey area men and start attracting men who actually show up. This is how confusion ends and how your power begins. There comes a moment in every woman's life when she finally looks at the situation, the mixed signals, the emotional crumbs, the constant guessing, and she realizes something powerful. She was never asking for too much. She was asking the wrong man. Reclaiming your power is not about becoming cold. It's not about outplaying men. It's not about games. It's about remembering who you were before you started dimming your standards to keep someone interested. You reclaim your power the second you stop negotiating with your self-worth. The second you stop accepting half effort. The second you stop bending your boundaries just to avoid losing someone who was never fully choosing you. And here's the truth that most women overlook. Your power doesn't come from getting a man to stay. Your power comes from knowing you can walk away. Because a woman who is willing to walk away is a woman who cannot be played. When you reclaim your power, you stop chasing potential. Potential doesn't love you. Potential doesn't show up. Potential doesn't build a relationship. A man can have the greatest potential in the world, but if he's not showing up today, he's not your man. Your power is rooted in your standards, in your energy, in your willingness to choose peace over chaos, in your willingness to choose truth over fantasy, in your willingness to choose yourself even when it hurts. Because power isn't loud. Power is quiet. It's the quiet decision to stop texting first. It's the quiet decision to stop waiting for inconsistent effort. It's the quiet decision to invest your time in a man who actually shows consistency, clarity, and intentionality. And when you make those quiet decisions, your whole life shifts. You stop attracting grey area men because you are no longer a grey area woman. You are no longer available for emotional confusion. You are no longer a safe place for inconsistency. You are no longer entertained by someone who keeps you guessing. Your attention becomes valuable. Your energy becomes selective. Your presence becomes something a man has to earn. A real man will rise to that. A grey area man will fall away. Reclaiming your power means trusting that losing the wrong man is not a loss. It is a correction. It is the universe clearing space for someone who is willing to match your effort and meet your standards. And when the right man arrives, you will feel the difference instantly. No confusion, no guessing, no grey area. Just clarity, consistency, and emotional safety. You will finally understand why nothing worked with the ones before him, because they were not supposed to. They were teaching you what not to accept. They were shaping your standards. They were strengthening your intuition. They were preparing you for the real thing. This is your turning point. This is where the old version of you fades and the new version rises. A woman who knows her value. A woman who knows what she deserves. A woman who attracts men who actually show up. This is you reclaiming your power fully, and this time, you're not giving it away again. If this message spoke to you, even a little, then you already know you're stepping into a stronger version of yourself. A version of you who doesn't chase, doesn't wait, and doesn't shrink just to be chosen. And if you want more guidance, more clarity, more truth without sugarcoating, then make sure you like this video and subscribe, because this is only the beginning. Every week, I'm breaking down the patterns that keep women stuck, and I'm showing you exactly how to rise above them. So stay with me. Your power is just waking up. And the next video might be the one that changes everything for you. You deserve love that feels certain, and you're closer to it than you think.